Let's get ready to rumble!
Yo, just finished watching Eddie Chambers versus Thomas Adamek. And you know, everybody talks about how Pacquiao was robbed against Bradley. Well, I just saw Eddie Chambers clearly outscore Thomas Adamek, clearly. Yeah? Eddie's left hand was injured. He was forced to fight an exclusively right-handed fight. But that's all he needed. He landed so many rights, accurate rights. Adamek was just throwing a lot of punches in the ether. And for the most part, they wasn't hitting anything. Yeah? Adamek didn't want to throw his jab midway through the fight because Eddie was just timing that bad boy and countering with rights with ease. I even see a little Philly shell early by Eddie, you know what I mean? Eddie busted his nose because he couldn't miss with that right all night. Eddie Chambers has children and a wife and all that shit. Yeah? Eddie's preparation for this fight is no different than you investing into the house market to try and make a profit. You buy a house, you develop it, you play around and you observe the fluctuations in the market and see if you can make a profit. And if you're good at that, you'll come out on top. But no matter how good you are at that particular game, you're still relying on the government not to raise up the interest rates. It's some real fucked up shit that you just can't deal with. The only people who can deal with it is the guys with the big, fat wad full of cash. Because they can sleep on the declining market for 6, 7, maybe 10 years. Yeah? And wait for it to come back round, and then they can start trading again. Most of us can't do that. So Eddie's gamble was, I'm going to prepare hard for this, pay the sparring partners, pay my trainers, my entourage, promoter, and all of that. What he's hoping for is he can win this NABF, North American, whatever belt. He'll have Adamek as a scalp. And hopefully his next payday will be worth all the money he invested preparing for this fight. Well, as the Cockneys say in London, that's all gone down the fucking swanny, innit? Eddie's coming off a 10-month layoff, in which time he doesn't get no money at all from boxing. None at all. So after this setback here, the next time we see Eddie in the ring, he might not weigh 202 pounds because he can't afford to spend so much time in the gym. And you could argue that if he really wanted it really badly, that he could get by all that. Okay, fair enough. But let's just stick with my scenario, which is more plausible than expecting him to be Superman, right? He can't spend as much time in the gym, so his weight goes up a little. Then we got to factor in his diet, because he has to be eating good food. He can't just be eating any junk, yeah? That costs money. His vitamins, his supplements, the sparring partners, his coaches. Every time he prepares really hard, it's a massive sacrifice. So he might have to return to the ring. He might well have to. His finances will dictate that. But he won't be able to take the same supplements maybe. His diet will be affected. The quality of his sparring partners will be affected. And shit like that. And none of us are getting any younger. So the longer he has to settle for second best in all them departments I just mentioned, the quicker he runs into the journeyman territory. You know? Because he can't afford to put any more into his investment. It's a gamble. Fucked up. This affects his next paycheck that he gets from boxing. A decision like this. So I don't want to hear about these alphabet belt organizations are going to do inquiries into the Pacquiao decision and all that shit. Because they're not going to do one for Eddie. Fucking robbery. But I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. See, because fighters like Eddie don't have the machine with them. Eddie has no fan base. Yeah. He has no fan base. Doesn't have a powerful promoter. Thomas Adamek represents a constituency. The Polish constituency. Yeah? Best believe when he fights a fight like this, he has clout from all the Poles in Chicago and all the people who came from Newark, New Jersey. Plus, he has clout from the authorities in his indigenous homeland, in Poland, Warsaw, wherever. And I'm not just talking casual boxing fans in these constituencies. I'm talking about businessmen. Yes, this is business. It felt like Chambers was fighting away from home. No, he's the American. These guys are relying on these boxing commissions to render fair verdicts because they don't have that fan base. They don't have that power behind them. Maybe Eddie and the Joes Hallucinogen need to start spraying their hair gold. Build a base of people that hate your guts. You know what I'm saying? Because at least if they do try to rub you like that, it will be high profile when they do. It will be harder for them to pull off. Because you got a little notoriety, you'll still be propelled into big fights because you're an enigma. Fucked up world, right? You see, results like this, they're hoping that Eddie's lack of profile will not result in people like me coming out in numbers and protesting. And then it will all go away in a few days or so. Then Adamek will move up the rankings and get another title shot. While Eddie will probably have to be weighing up the possibilities of working a security job or going on a building site or something like that. Am I going to walk away from boxing? Fuck no, I'm not. Because I know that Chambers won. I know Chambers won the fight. So we move on. I was disgusted. I'm voicing my disapproval now. But I move on until the next robbery. And they scored it unanimously. One judge scored it 119 to 109. And the other two scored it 116 to 112. See, the only thing I respect is something I heard a long time ago. If you're going to tell a lie, tell a big lie. Don't tell a little small lie. Yeah? So instead of trying to make it look good and giving Adamek a split decision, they're telling me that was a unanimous decision. 119 to 109. That's nearly a shutout. You know? 116 to 112. And still, I'm not going to walk away from boxing. But when you take 50 odd minutes, that includes the build up of the video, watching the fight, the scoring, or the corruption would be a better term for that, the scorecards, you need to take a break, come back with a fresh angle. So that's what I'm going to do. So the boxing news review is going to be a bit delayed this week. I'll try and get that in on Tuesday or Wednesday. But for now, I'm going to say peace out.